introduce yourself, spelling your name afterwards?
Yes, my name is DeAna Alisa Lara Perea. So my first name is D-E, capital A-N-A. Middle name Alisa, A-L-I-S-A. Last name Lara, L-A-R-A hyphen Perea, P-E-R-E-A.
Are you from Omaha?
Yes, I was born and raised here in South Omaha.
Where did you grow up in Omaha?
I grew up right off 19th Street, so I went to Assumption Catholic School all the way from preschool to 8th grade, and then I came here to South High and graduated in 2010.
Okay, and we in South,
We're at South, yeah.
Yes.
How did your family come to live in Omaha? Tell me a little bit of your family history.
So my grandfather, Felix Lara, came from Guanajuato, Mexico, and he came he crossed over with some family members, and he came in search for a better life for his family. And when he came here, he worked, and of course in the fields, and then also on the railroad tracks, and he brought my grandma, and my grandma had some of her children. They came over, and ever since we've just grown, and we just we came here, and we love it.
Tell me about the first time you remember hearing music. What was the experience like?
The first time was Selena. She was very popular at that time, so I was little, and I remember dancing and singing to her songs, Como la Flor, Bidi Bidi Bam Bam, all of those. So she was a great influence in my childhood and still is today.
How involved was music in your family life? Was it around all the time?
Yes, it was. I was pretty much raised living with my grandparents, and my grandfather always played mariachi music and rancheras, and it was always on in the house. But apart from that, my grandma also sang. She had a beautiful voice, and my mom. So it's always been instilled within our family.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So just be careful not to cut her off at the end, okay? I like that you're following up, but just make sure she finishes before, okay? Good job. You're doing good.
How did you first become involved in music?
When I first started singing was in school, but in my church, my father was the church choir director, so I sang with him in the choir for many years, and that was at church. But then also in the community, it was just something that, growing up with it at home, I wanted to become more experienced with it. So when I met Marcos Mora, who is also a great influence in the community, he had the opportunity of the mariachi Las Estrellitas, and that's how I started with mariachi.
Is it okay to ask this question? How did you first met Marcos, and what church did you go to?
Okay, so I met Marcos. I actually don't know quite. I just know that he was starting a group within the community, and we had heard about it, and my mom really wanted me to be a part of it. So when I tried it, he's well known in the community, and he still is today. So in my church, I go to Assumption Guadalupe Church here in South Omaha.
That's cool. And what instruments can you play?
So I started at the piano. That was when I was younger, and then for the mariachi, I played the guitar. So when I was in high school, I also played band and clarinet.
That's cool. How involved was your neighborhood in music scenes?
My neighborhood. Well, I would say just within my neighborhood with the music, I would say within the school community, it was pretty involved because I had also family members that were in the group with me, and I went to school with them as well. So I would kind of relate to that as being my neighborhood being involved, because they also live not too far from here. So growing up in South Omaha, we went to the same school, we played in the same group, so it was very neat.
Just a follow-up question, and I'll have you answer to Brandon. But how do you think that music impacts South Omaha? What effect do you think that music has on South Omaha? How important is it, that sort of thing?
Okay, I think music is very influential in South Omaha because it's keeping the culture alive, no matter what culture it is. For instance, it can be in a different form of language. So language is universal, and it's uplifting, and it's just very rich in history and culture. So I think it's huge for South Omaha because South Omaha isn't only Hispanics. Back then it was Czech, Greek. We had all these different ethnicities, and so being a part of the music, especially when I went to school growing up in the music, we didn't only sing Spanish and English. We also learned Czech. So it was just being South Omaha. It's really great because we're able to keep culture alive through that form of music.
That's really interesting. Why is music special to you?
It's special to me personally because it's a blessing for me. It's a gift that God gave me, and I feel that because it's given to me, I need to share it with others. And having a passion for the music that I play, the music that I sing, I see that it makes others happy and it brings joy to the lives of others. So for me, that's why I enjoy it, because I enjoy making others happy too and sharing that gift.
That's really sweet.
Thank you.
Who has been your biggest supporter of your music and why?
My biggest supporter would be my mom, because ever since I was young, she just let me be the person that I am today, and she supported me. She never pushed me. She always just was willing to let me open the horizons and to open doors, and so I would say that she's always been at my side till this very day.
That's really cool. Tell me what it feels like to perform in front of a live audience.
Well, at first, when I first started, it was very nerve-wracking. But now, over the years, you get experience, and it's fun. Because you see the people, they're looking at you, and then they're smiling. It makes you feel good because you're making them smile. So it's rewarding. It really is.
Well,
sorry, I had one follow-up question that I had taken out of there, but is there any memorable performance? Could be from any part of your life that you just think was super important that maybe you would want to tell D'Angelo when he gets older, you know?
Let me see. I think I do remember one time we performed in a small town in Nebraska, and it was a very, very small town, and we performed at a theater. And I remember that at this theater, it just felt like we were in a movie because we had arrived. We had our whole suits, so it was our red suits. We had our sombreros, and it felt like that moment where we performed. We were in a circle, half moon circle, and I remember the crowd was just full, and the feeling that we had as a group all together, it just felt like we were in unison, and that we were really pleasing the crowd. And the crowd, I remember they gave us a standing ovation. So it was very neat. I felt like this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Can you tell me what the group was like? Because you said you had many other groups. Is it?
So that was with Mariachi Luna y Sol. Yes.
How was your son involved in music? Like, because you said you listening to music with him.
Yes, so my oldest son, D'Angelo, I started teaching him since he was very little to sing, and he just loves it too. So we will, recently he started singing mariachi with me too, and it's just great because I feel that as he grows up older and older, then we'll be able to sing together.
I have a follow-up question too. So the first time you performed in front of a live audience, was with Marcos Mora or Mariachi, or when did that happen?
So the first time that it actually wasn't with mariachi, it was in church. So I remember singing up front in front of the church and performing for the congregation, and that was when I was 8 years old. So that was the first time that I actually sang, and the song was called Children of the Living God, and that was with my dad. So we performed together. And then that's when I kind of realized that, okay, it's not that bad to perform in front of people, and I wanted to keep doing it. And so the first time that I did perform in a live audience with the mariachi was, before I joined the mariachi, it was at an event, now that I remember, it was at an event that I sang. It was a talent show that I sang, México Lindo y Querido, which is just a song that I learned to perform at the talent show. And I remember that's when Marcos was there and he saw me sing. And I think I remember that's when he told me. So that's how it kind of happened. I was performing, he saw me perform, and he asked me to be a part of the group, and that's kind of where it all started.
So were you scared before did you get stage fright, or were you scared at all when you started performing with church or with mariachi and then it just went away?
Yeah, I mean, being so young too, I was very shy. That's the thing. I was very shy. So everyone always said, "Where do you get your voice from?" Because when I sing, I'm not shy. It's just like it's natural. It feels like natural. Like it's just you forget about everything. But I guess when I'm talking or just in a crowd, I'm very timid. But it's just like a switch turns on and automatically it's like okay, from day to night. So yeah, I was shy, but over time, whenever experience, that shyness goes away, and then you gain confidence.
How would you describe the music scene in Omaha?
The music scene in Omaha, I would say that we are very rich in music. There's a lot of groups that I feel that are still growing and that are, as you would say, invisible. People don't know about, but especially with the mariachi groups, I've really seen them grow and branch off throughout the years, which is very neat because that just means that we're keeping the generations are keeping the music alive, and that is so beautiful to see.
So would you say it's growing?
Definitely, it's growing. Growing and thriving.
What musicians inspire you or have inspired you?
So for mariachi, I would say I really love Rocío Dúrcal, and so she's one of the singers that I really enjoyed her music. I really love for the male singers Vicente Fernandez, and that's for the mariachi part. But more for just in general for Christian because I'm really into Christian music as well, and that's where I kind of hope to branch off and continue to do. I really enjoy like Jackie Velasquez, or just I really enjoy the bilingual singers, and really just branching music and language into inspiring others.
So apart from mariachi, do you sing other, or
I sing a lot in church, so that's where I feel like I'm most at home. Mariachi is I love it, and it's my passion, and I grew up doing it. It was like my job growing up, and I made money, of course, but it was like working and having fun and entertaining. But being in the church and singing like Christian music is not entertaining people. It's more like you're fulfilling a person's purpose, or you're fulfilling their life with like maybe an emptiness that they had. So it's different, but yeah.
what are important music venues in Omaha?
So some of the great places are, well, even just here in South Omaha, for instance, when we have Cinco de Mayo or 16 de septiembre, so de Grito, right here in the plaza is where we have a huge stage, and that's where we've performed many times. Our mariachis come and perform. We have baile folclóricos. So basically here in South Omaha is a huge venue. We also have the Holland Center downtown, or the Quest Center, but there's various places, or even hotels where we perform, where there's like private events, or also at the Joslin Art Museum. That's another venue that's very nice as well.
Okay. Have you performed at Cinco de Mayo before?
Yes, many times. So that was for us when I was in Mariachi Las Cecilias. That was like one of the holidays, I guess you could say, that we would really look forward to, because it's such a full weekend and packed with many gigs. So we would go from like one gig to the next, and we're just like, oh, we can't wait because it's Cinco de Mayo, because everybody is celebrating it, and we've performed in La Plaza, we performed at restaurants, at the zoo, we've performed in different places.
Okay, so you've performed a lot this year. We read that church has been important to your music career. Oh wait, you already said what church you attend, but how has going to church and being with music, how has that impacted you and just music altogether?
It's kept me going, and just knowing that, like I said, knowing that this is a blessing to me. It's something that I know that I need to share with others. And so it's just really inspired me to just thank God for the blessing that I have, because if it weren't for him, then I wouldn't be able to share it with others.
Okay. So you said you were involved in singing at your church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you play any instruments with your church?
I basically just sing at the church. It depends. So for instance, I'll give you an example. When I'm asked to sing for, let's say, a wedding or a quinceañera or a funeral, I sing with the deacon, so he plays the organ, so usually the two of us will perform together for that church event. Now, let's say if I get a call for a wedding or a quinceañera, then I will play that at my church with the mariachi group, and then I would play guitar and sing. So it's kind of my personal preference, what I prefer to do, or what the client desires as well. I'll ask the client, do you prefer mariachi or do you prefer an organ or a piano? And then depending on what their answer is, then I will accommodate myself to the musicians that I surround myself with for that specific gig.
So are you close with other people at your church because you play with the organ players?
Yes, we're very close with the deacon at the church. I actually work at my church too, so yeah, I'm very involved in the church and I love it there, and it's just part of the music ministry, giving back to the church and serving those in the community.
Okay,
Is this the same church that we've been talking about? Is that the
yeah.
same or no?
Guadalupe, it's yeah.
Okay, but it's the same. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so switching a little bit. What are women's roles in the Mexican American music scene?
So women's roles, I would say, for women, I think for us, we have a huge role because we're inspiring young women to see us. So for instance, in the mariachi scene, I would say that, as you see that I'm dressed today, we're kind of not accommodated to social media as we would portray. I would say it's a powerful image that we have because it's different than, I guess what I'm trying to get at, that we live in a society now where women feel that they have to wear less to feel more, okay? And so what I would say for me specifically is that when I'm in my mariachi suit, I'm dressed from head to toe, and that's where I feel like I'm the prettiest. I feel because I am so honored to be wearing this suit. So I think for women in the mariachi music industry, it's a sense of pride, of cultural pride, knowing that this is clothes that we've worn from many years from Mexico, and that it's still something that we wear with dignity and with respect. So as a role for the women, also we have to, of course, when we're in our suit, we have to act appropriately, and also it's very influential, I think, for other young girls or women to see and to say, wow, I want to be like her, just to feel that they don't have to wear mini skirts or wear, you know what I mean? Like it's a powerful role, I would say, but inspiring at the same time. Mm-hmm.
How are women treated, like in the Mexican American music scene, maybe compared to normal, like the mainstream?
So one thing that we've just noticed is that more men are involved in mariachi, or that's
Okay.
just what we've seen so far. So we haven't heard a woman's perspective.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so we kind of want to know, like, what is it like to be a woman who maybe is a minority as opposed to men who are the majority?
Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
changes. Okay, so I would say growing up and being in groups, because I've been grouped with when there's men and women, so it is challenging at times. But for the women, I think it's an important role for us because especially if you have a singing role or a musical role in playing or singing, that there's a balance. There's a sense of balance within the group. And I think that's the importance that in different mariachis groups or in the music industry, when you're in a group together, you try to find a balance and try to be as a team rather than one role overpowering the other. So from what I've experienced, I've never have experienced that where I've felt a minority. Personally, I've never felt as a minority when I've been in a group. And that's probably because I've grown up with the musicians that I've been with since I was young. So that's my personal experience.
How have you seen the Mexican American community change over time?
It's really been open to change. So I would say that just within the years, South Omaha has grown so much and has really just thrived throughout the community. I've seen a lot more people that are open to learning about the music, especially mariachi music, or coming down to see the baile folklorico. So there's a lot of history that's staying alive and that keeps growing.
How do you think music shapes culture?
I would say that music is a universal language. So for a culture, when you're singing a song, it could be talking about the food, talking about a relationship, talking about romance, talking about just different things. So that's how music, there's different forms of music. So within the mariachi music, we have different styles of mariachi. And I think especially for that, it really forms what Latino culture is about, because depending on what it's talking about, on the rhythm of the music, it's just like it tells a story, and it can be, instead of it being spoken, it's through the form of the music that's expressed.
How does music connect the Mexican American community?
For music, connecting the Mexican American community, I would say it gives them a sense of unity, especially because for instance, I would say my grandma, I can put her in an example. She came here, but she never learned English, so she only speaks Spanish. But when she hears those oldies, so the rancheras or the songs that she grew up hearing, and when she hears them, it gives her a sense of feeling of when she was back home, or knowing that that music is still being listened to, which is one of the main reasons why I do it today, because I have my grandparents, and I know that it's a sense of pride for them to be able to see their granddaughter perform this music that they grew up listening to. So it's an honor, and it's a sense of unity, because within those songs, the most influential mariachi performers that sang those songs had some great stories. And when those songs came out, the older people, they were going through some hard times during their lives. So the music really, I think it really connects people from different generations, which is incredible, I feel, because even though I wasn't born during that time and I'm singing these songs, and someone that's older that remembers that song, like it's like a sense of connection. So it's very intergenerational and multicultural.
This is slightly off topic. So does your mariachi band or mariachi bands that you've been in, are they more traditional, or have you swayed towards modern?
So the more modernized group that I was in was the Las Cecilias. And I feel like just over the years we've modernized more. But we were very, very traditional. But even being a younger generation, we put our own twist to it.
Were you supposed to-
No, that's fine.
Do you prefer traditional over modern, or modern over traditional, or?
There's a balance of both. I think both is fun, and what we do usually is we feel our crowd. So it's depending on the crowd that we're serving. So for instance, if we were to go to a party and it's an 80th birthday party, then we know that it's going to be traditional music that we'll play. But if we're going to a restaurant and there's more English-speaking crowd, then we're going to play more modernized music. So we just feel what the clients are that we're serving.
Okay, that's smart. Can you please finish this sentence? To me, music is.
You can think about it for a minute.
Okay. Okay, so to me, music is finding fulfillment while inspiring the lives of others. So for me, I find fulfillment in myself because I like to serve other people, and in a way, being able to serve them through music, because when you're playing an instrument and you're singing, you are connecting on a level that you don't have to touch that person to connect with that person, but if they can hear you sing, they feel it, they feel the music. So I think being able to, so music is moving others through your own personal connection.
Can you repeat the sentence one more time?
I know, because I kind of
You
wrote
did
it.
great. We'll see if we like that. Sounded great. Our ideas, we might choose that one or we might choose this next one. Just the straight up sentence.
Right.
I like that though too, though.
So I know, I really have never thought about it. So that's why I'm like, wow, there's a lot to. Okay, so.
You said to me, music is the fulfillment of inspiring others or something.
Finding.
fulfillment while inspiring others.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think that's what it would be, because that's when I'm most fulfilled, when I'm singing or when I'm performing. And I think what's important for me is that I'm not doing it for myself. So for instance, I mean, if they say, will you come sing for me? I mean, yes, it is something that I get paid for, and it's nice to have that extra money, but at the same time, it's building relationships. Every time I go to a gig, I'm meeting new people, I'm networking. So I think that's what it is. It's music, it's finding that fulfillment because I'm going out in the community, I'm meeting new people, and yeah, it's like a win-win deal.
Do you want to repeat it?
Okay, so music is finding fulfillment in inspiring others. Finding fulfillment while inspiring others.
Okay, one more time.
To me, right?
Okay.
To me, music is.
To me, music is finding fulfillment while inspiring others.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
About Marcus Mora. Oh, okay, so Marcos Mora, we interviewed him.
You did? Oh, yay. Okay, good.
Super nice, super cool. So he talked about how it used to be, and it still kind of is really hard to become an artist because it's considered like a starving artist. You might not get paid, but it's for the passion. So, what do you think about what do you think about that? Is it really hard to get started as an artist, especially a Mexican American artist?
Yes, because since I was younger, that was always kind of my dream. I want to grow up and become famous, but it's not that easy. I've tried out for American Idol. American Idol came, and I went, and I thought I was confident, and I said I can do it, and I thought that I was different because I thought my story was different, obviously, because growing up here, being a mariachi, but literally going to that audition, it's so different in person than it is on TV. I mean, TV sugarcoats it all. So going through that experience, it really brought me down. It kind of like knocked down my walls for a while. Never, kind of just never giving up. And I've been through experiences with music where I've felt like maybe music isn't my path, or I felt like maybe there's something more for me out there, and that I should that's actually why I didn't major in music, because I thought that there's really no future in music. So there was a point in my life where I felt like I'm going to be stuck here and there's no future in music. So I think after just going through personal experiences, you find yourself. So you find yourself in music, and then maybe something happens, and then you realize maybe music isn't for me. It's not everything. So that's kind of what happened to me in my life. Of course, I mean, I got married, I had children, so I did take a break for a while. I took a break from music, but then there was a part of me that was missing. So then that's when I went back to it. And so kind of just finding that balance within your life and how you accommodate your personal experiences to be able to still incorporate your passion for music. And that's kind of where I am now. I never imagined myself that I would be doing what I am now, which is staying home. And now I feel like I'm starting a new path where what my plan is for the future is that I know that I want to teach children music. And so that's kind of the path that I just started, and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do. My dream may be to one day to open like a place where I would be able to offer that opportunity for kids in our community, because right now I'm at the point where I feel like I was the generation where we've kind of stopped. So my generation, Marcos kept us going, but now it's up to us to keep the next generation going. So that's kind of where I'm in right now, trying to figure out what can I do to still keep the music alive and to teach the younger generations the importance. It doesn't have to be mariachi, just the fact that they're learning music and they're learning a second language through that music too. So this is called, this is called Una Página Más, and this is one of my grandma's favorites. Es inútil que quieras, lo que fue ya no es. Es inútil que quieras comenzar otra vez. Sin rencor ni temores, quiero vivir en paz. Quiero encontrar mi suerte y no dejarla jamás. Vacío y lo voy a empezar. Tengo sed de caricias, tengo ganas de amar. Hoy comienza mi vida, una
página más. Hoy me enseña la vida que me quiera yo más. Es la historia de siempre, de un amor y que se fue. Y yo espero mañana comenzar otra vez. No interrumpas mi vida, ya no te puedo amar. Solo sé que tu boca no la vuelvo a besar.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, so these are my Cecilia's shirts. So when I was in Mariachi Las Cecilias, the mariachi suit changed. So what we did is we wore our skirts or we wore leggings, and the leggings had embroidery on the side. So this is called botonadura. They're the buttons. So we would wear black leggings with the botonadura on the side, like embroidered. So we would wear those with our shirts, and we had all different colors. So our red one, our blue, our pink, and then we had the green, and then also a yellow. So that was for Mariachi Las Cecilias. Now, we also had, along with these shirts, we would wear our matching head bows. So for instance, like I would wear there would always be flowers. So that was our symbol for Las Cecilias, of a rose or a flower in our hair. And then when I was in Las Estrellitas or Luna y Sol, as you can kind of see here on this bag, we had the whole suit. So that would include, what we have is the falda and the chaleco. So we are dressed here with our sombrero. And within the years that I was in Mariachi Luna y Sol, we also had a red suit. So we had the red suit with white embroidery and then the black. And then I also had black and gold. That one there, the Virgen de Guadalupe is on that one. And that's one that my uncle brought for me from Mexico City. So that one's very special and dear to me, because another important time that I sing that it's important to my faith is the 12th of December, which is the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And so for that, I always sing for that, because that's always a time where I feel like I'm very thankful for the gifts that I've been blessed with. So I always wear that suit for the 12 de Diciembre. And these are the moños, so some of the moños that we have here. So these we would wear when I was like in Mariachi Las Estrellitas or Luna y Sol. We had different colored moños. And the boys and the girls would wear these. So we would wear either a white long sleeve button-up shirt, and then the moño would just go around it, or we would wear a black button-up shirt, and we would wear the moño with it too. So these were for the boys and the girls. And this is the head bow. So this is the head moño, and it just goes in her hair, and it would be the color that would match the hair would match the moño on her neck. So yeah, and then so this one is a little different. This is, I would wear this around my waist like this. So if I'm performing just me and myself, I would wear it like this. Or I could also wear it as a moño around the neck as well. So these are the colors of the Mexican flag, red, white, and green. Mm-hmm. And then this is a sombrero. So this is one of my D'Angelo sombreros.
Who wants to put a sombrero on or try what? Muños? What are they called?
Moños.
Brandon does.
I will.
Here you go. Here you go.
How do I put it on?
Okay, so you put this on first.
Oh. Okay.
It's okay. And then you would just put it on like, I think someone's trying to come in.
Oh.
I don't. D'Angelo, you just want to, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Really quickly.
Put this over the
Come here.
ears, or?
I thought you were filming. I didn't want to
We are, yeah.
Okay.
I'll only be here a half a second, and then I'll be out of your way.
What was your question?
So is it supposed to be like this?
Like that.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it. And then so another thing that when we were that, we have our long earrings. So we could either wear like big earrings, big studs like this, or dangly earrings. And then of course we'd always do our makeup. And it's just so much fun because we would get dressed up and dolled up. And so it's
This is fun.
a lot of fun. Yeah.